The most ironic video I've ever made, probably, because it's about complaining, but I'm complaining about complaining. Bit of a vortex. Let's see what I'm on about. Hello, 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 hello.
Hi.
So welcome back. Complaining about complaining. What's the point of this video? And obviously the irony of complaining about complaining. It's just too much of a head really. As PewDiePie says, let's get into it. Complaining. Why do we complain?
What do you mean you don't agree with me?
There's so much complaining going on. This whole video has been sort of inspired by a video I watched earlier from Garry Vee, where he takes a call from a guy who initially it starts off saying how his spouse doesn't support his entrepreneurial ideas and way of life and that sort of thing. But then the whole thing kind of sort of shifts a bit, and he's talking about he's got 5 kids, and he's talking about his kids and their various ages from 9 to I think 18. I'll actually link the video below. And basically he's saying how he wants the best for his kids. I think, you know, we can all relate to that, and we would like them to pursue maybe an entrepreneurial career rather than feel they have to go to college and get a degree and that's the only route. So all good so far. But then he says basically how they're not really kind of taking that on, despite him kind of laying it out. So I'm here to help you. Just what do you want to do? One of the questions asked his kids, well, you know, do you want me to stop asking you, you know, do you need help or none of this? And they basically said yes. So he's now completely thrown because, you know, he wants the best for his kids. He wants them to sort of really pursue anything they want to do and he'll support them. And yet they're not kind of buying into this idea, hence the call to Garry Vee. You can watch the whole video. Garry Vee gets to the point of sort of saying, well, one, it doesn't matter. Your kids are sort of, you know, various ages from 9 all the way up to 18. They might not get the message right now. It's going to go in and maybe they might not get it till they're 28. And then suddenly it will click and boom, and they're flying. So as Garry says, you know, spit it out. That's sort of in Americanism. Spit it out better, but don't have the expectation that they're going to be kind of
Okay, great. Let's go.
I can relate to this a lot because wanting to help people and offer advice and things like that with business, marketing, that kind of stuff, people sort of don't want that. I find that odd that people don't want help, particularly if it's obvious they're making mistakes or having a problem. That's been a continual source of frustration for me for years, offering help, and I'll be honest, pretty much 99% of the time, if not higher, free. And yet people sort of don't want that. Logically, that makes no sense to me. You know, I'm offering some help or advice or something, and yet you don't want that. You'll happily continue to make mistakes and be annoyed and frustrated that you're making mistakes when there's help just sort of here. It's been a continual source of frustration for me, thinking like over and over again, and it would be very easy to get very kind of cynical and stuff. And just, really, what's the point? What is the point? I'm going to just stick to just looking after me. What Garry Vee says in this video, says, you know, he said you can give out this information, you can give out the advice, everything, but you shouldn't have the expectation of people are just going to act upon it straight away. It's the fact that, you know, everyone's in a different place in their life and different stage and they've got their own shit going on. And that information may be useful, and whilst you can maybe see it logical that they take that information or take that advice and do that, that's not how they may be hearing it. They may hear it as sort of interfering, they may hear it as, what does this guy know? And there's various ways, you know, they're not necessarily hearing it how you're intending it or how you know, would like them to understand it. It's actually a fault on my part that I get frustrated that they're not doing it. And this is also very similar to what Garry Vee was saying to the guy about saying to his kids, and I know it from speaking to my kids, that, you know, even if you say to them, you know, this is a good idea, this is good advice, whatever it is in various things, they kind of have to be in the right place to sort of take that advice, or more importantly, want that advice. Because if they don't want that advice because they've made up their own mind of this is the best way to do this maths problem or build this Lego or something like that, if they don't want your help and advice at that specific point, no matter how much you kind of keep drilling away at it, they're not going to care, they're not going to listen, and that's going to build frustration because they're not doing as you say. Again, it just you get to that point. What Garry then went on to say was basically, essentially you're letting people know that you can help, you have the information, but you're not ramming it down their throats. You're not just forcing your help and advice on them, which is one, annoying for them if they're not wanting it, but it cuts the frustration for you because you're just putting it out there with the classic thing of without any expectation that one, they're going to take it, one, they want it. You're just saying, I've got this information, I've got this help, advice, whatever it may be. If you do want help, let me know. Done. And that way you're preserving your own sort of sanity.
I'm gonna laugh.
By not kind of getting too emotionally attached in that kind of outcome. You're just putting it out there. If you want it, come to me. If you don't, fine. Letting you know that I have something that could help you. Then if they decide that they want the help, then they'll come to you. Gary goes on to ask, how privileged are his kids? Do you give them money? Do you give them any kind of allowance? And he basically said no. All the kids of all the ages have some sort of job. The older ones work. The younger ones do some babysitting, and the really young ones, sort of 9, doesn't have to do anything, but he might help with chores and things like that. That's setting up a good work ethic and getting them to understand value. You know, you provide value, you get value or money in return. That's all good. The father then mentions about the fact that he essentially sort of cleans the kids' bathroom. And he asked them to do it, they don't do it, so then he does it. And that was the kind of thing that sent Gary then into this kind of, not really a rant, but kind of a very good point. Because what the dad was saying was basically, you know, he wants it clean, okay? But fine, we get that. And he's asked the kids to do it, but ultimately, all throughout the years, he's always done it. The kids kind of know that he'll do it, and what will happen is he'll ask them to do it, and then when they don't do it, he'll do it anyway, just so it's clean. And this is the fundamental point of complaining, and this brings it whole back to my original point. What this guy was doing sort of was kind of complaining to Gary with the best intent that he wants the kids to do stuff, but they won't do it, as in taking the advice, but also kind of cleaning. And what the advice was from Gary was basically to give you 2 choices: clean it and shut the f*** up, or never clean it again. And this is literally a massive kind of truth bomb that can be applied to so much stuff in life. So I kind of went through a bit of a long story there, but to get to this point, that so often you complain about stuff and yet do nothing about it. So the point with what Gary was saying is that, you know, you either clean the bathroom, if that's what you're going to do anyway, clean it and shut the f*** up and stop complaining about your cleaning it. If you're going to clean it, clean it. Okay, that's one option. The other option is never clean it again. They're living with this horrible dirty bathroom, and it will get to a point where they're cleaning it. Now, if they don't, they're the ones who are using it. They're the ones who are living in the filth. And it's so tempting, especially as a parent or, you know, a spouse, partner, to then kind of push and go, look, it's so, I'll clean it. I'll clean it this once. And then that person then subconsciously knows that they never have to clean it because it will always be cleaned. Someone's always wiping their ass. Someone's always tidying up after them. I know this from personal experience because I am the lazy who doesn't do anything around the house, and countless people in my life, ex-wife, ex-girlfriends, have always unfortunately suffered this monstrosity of a person that is me and their lazy ass ways. The problem is, and this is no excuse, and they said it's not a conscious thing, it is a subconscious thing, but then after kind of thinking about it, one of the reasons that stopped me from ever doing anything is because it was always done eventually. Now, I'm not justifying that, I'm not saying that's the right thing, I'm just being honest. If something is always ultimately done for you, there's no incentive to do it. And it's the thing with kids and kind of tidying up their own room, or, you know, them doing chores around the house, stuff like that. Said so many areas. If you stop doing it, you're going to have to possibly take a bit of a hit short term, whether it's the untidiness or, you know, whatever it is. But there will get to a point where that other person will, I don't want to say break, they get to the point where that person will go, look, I'll tidy up, you know, this is disgusting. That's the point, you know, you need to get to. Same with the kids and the chores, the kids and in this case in the story, the bathroom. You know, you either keep tidying and shut up and stop moaning, because the more you tidy, there's no chance the other person's going to do that thing that you want. So all the complaining about it is not going to change it. And I'm saying, just as a caveat, I'm not saying or putting any blame on any of my past relationships on this fact, but it's just something that came out of this video I watched today, and it makes so much sense, and logically and emotionally and everything, that if you keep doing something for someone else, you can't really complain that they're not doing it. That's it. So, i.e., keep cleaning the bathroom and shut the fuck up, or never clean the bathroom again. And that one said there's a short-term kind of eek factor where it might get a bit more grotty or whatever, but then it will sort itself out. Now, this is where the problem that we as people and the the clean partner in this, or the parent, struggles with, is because that piece of time of extra grottiness while the whole situation is resolving itself is the bit that we find hard to actually live with, because the house has got into more of a mess, the bathroom's more dirty, whatever it may be. And it's how long you, as the clean person, can kind of suffer and live with that to allow it to kind of right itself and sort out. And that's the challenge to you guys who are the clean people living with the scumbags like me who are the filthy ones. That's the difficult thing. But if you can ride that situation out, it will right itself, because ultimately, you know, they'll get sick of living it and they'll clean it and they'll do the thing or whatever the other thing is. But this moment you step back in and clean it or do the task or whatever it is, reiterated and emphasized and completely validated the fact that the other person or people aren't doing it, because it always gets done. So the point of all of this is that when it comes to complaining about things, you either do something about it, which is a positive thing, in this case, you know, not cleaning or not tidying or whatever that is until it rights itself, or, you know, if you're complaining about the colour of the walls, paint them. If you're complaining about the fence or something, fix it. Whatever the thing you're complaining about, do something about it or shut the f*** up. Don't keep moaning about the same subject all the time and not doing anything about it. That's ridiculous. That's almost a definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again but expecting a different result. You're doing things and you're complaining about it, blah 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 blah, bitch and moan, but you're not doing anything about it. And so therefore it's going to stay the same, but you're all negative, you're all upset, annoyed, etc. You're bringing everyone else down with your fucking incessant moaning about it, but you're not doing anything about it. Where you could do something, and we all have a choice and we can all make decisions of what we want to do. Do something about it or shut the fuck up. Simple as that. Complaining about something constantly will not get it changed. It will just piss you off, piss everyone else off, and it's just fucking annoying. So that's all I've got time for today. Ended on that nice positive note of complaining. But yeah, just stop complaining. Shut the fuck up. Or do something about it. Simple as that. Done. Hope you got some value from this. If you have, as always, smash that like button until it's nice and blue. And subscribe if you haven't. I really do appreciate it. Every single one of you who has subscribed, it means the world to me. And all the views, you keep watching and commenting. I absolutely love it. And comment below. Are you someone who complains about stuff a lot but doesn't do anything about it? Are you the person who needs to shut the fuck up? It's a hard one to admit, but admitting it is the first step to, you know, recovery, as it were. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. And remember, shut the fuck up or do something about it. Bye. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so down here. And check out my other video down here. And remember, live your best life and profit from that passion. See you next time. Bye-bye.